Hey there and welcome. I'm Ganesh from LearnEnglishLab.com, and in this lesson I'm going to teach you 10 idioms inspired by one of life's greatest pleasures, which is food. Now all of these are really popular idioms and I hope you have a lot of fun learning them. Our first idiom is a piece of cake. If we say that something is a piece of cake, like this piece of delicious chocolate cake over here, then we mean that it is easy. When a student comes to me and says, "Teacher, that exam was a piece of cake," what he or she means is that the exam was easy. Or let's say I'm an expert at repairing computers. I might say that fixing computers is a piece of cake, meaning that it's really easy for me to fix computers. The next idiom is couch potato. And trust me, this is a potato. A couch potato is just a lazy person. We call them couch potatoes because what does a couch mean? Couch means a sofa. So a couch potato is a person who just likes to sit or lie on a sofa, like a sofa you might have in your living room, and then they like to do nothing except maybe just watch TV. So they're really lazy. I have a friend named Nick who is a total couch potato. He never likes to go out. He just likes to stay home and watch his favorite shows on TV. Idiom number 3 is not one's cup of tea. I have written one's over here because you can say not my cup of tea or not your cup of tea, etc. If something is not your cup of tea, then you don't enjoy it or you don't like it. For example, watching horror films is not my cup of tea because I often get nightmares or bad dreams after I watch horror movies. So watching horror movies isn't my cup of tea. That just means I don't like or enjoy it. The next idiom is to be in a pickle. If you are in a pickle, then you are in a very bad situation or you're in trouble. Just imagine what it would feel like to be inside like this pickle jar. You would feel sticky and very uncomfortable and you would just want to get out, right? Well, of course, there's no way to be in a pickle jar, but you get the idea. I remember my mother-in-law saying this one time. We were driving somewhere. We were in the car, so me, my wife, the kids, and my mother-in-law were all in the car. And I was driving on a freeway. All of a sudden, we heard this dush out of nowhere. And immediately we knew that it was a flat tire. One of our tires in the car had gotten punctured. Before I even stopped the car, my mother-in-law immediately yelled, "Oh, we're in such a pickle now. What are we going to do?" What she meant was, we're on the freeway and the tire just went flat. What are we going to do? Where are we going to go? We're in a very, very bad situation. Now, I had a spare tire in the back, so it just took me 10 minutes to get the spare tire on and we were on our way again. So it wasn't that big of a problem, but that's mother-in-laws for you. Just remember that to be in a pickle means to be in a bad situation or in trouble. The next idiom is to take something with a pinch of salt. If you take something with a pinch of salt, that means that you don't fully believe it. Now, for example, I have a colleague in my office. I'm not going to tell you his name because he might be watching this video, but let's say his name is Harry. Harry likes to tell us in the office a lot of these stories about his adventures in the mountains and in the jungles and in the caves. He calls himself an adventurer. Now, most of us in the office take everything that Harry says with a pinch of salt, meaning that we don't fully believe him. Maybe some of that is true, but we think he's making up those stories, so we don't believe him completely. All right, the next idiom, idiom number 6, is cheesy. You might be a big fan of cheese, like this piece of nice Swiss cheese over there. But if something is cheesy, then it's of low quality. Like if I told you that I saw a cheesy action movie over the weekend, then what I saw was a bad movie. Maybe it had boring fight scenes and terrible graphics. So it was just not a good film. Or you might hear people talk sometimes of a cheesy smile, like that. If someone has a cheesy smile, they might have a big, broad smile, but you have to be careful because they might be trying to trick you or cheat you because it's not a real smile. So be careful with people like that. Right, our next idiom is bread and butter. Who doesn't eat bread and butter, right? Now, your bread and butter is your main source of income. Like teaching English is my bread and butter because that's my main source of income. That's how I put food on the table for my family and for myself. Or if you're a software programmer, then writing software is your bread and butter. Or if you are a singer, you might say that music is my bread and butter, or singing is my bread and butter, because that is what pays your bills. That is what brings you your income. Idiom number 8 is pretty interesting, and I really like this idiom. It is to butter someone up. Normally, we talk about buttering up toast, like this piece of toast over here. See all that butter? We put butter on toast to make it softer and to make it taste better. But if you butter up a person, you're not actually putting butter on them, but you're trying to make that person a little soft by telling them nice things or by being friendly with them because you want them to do something for you. So you're trying to flatter that person. Now, when I used to work at a school, kids would sometimes walk up to me and they would say, "Teacher, I love being in your class. You're a fantastic teacher. I really like you." And I used to ask them, "Hey, why are you buttering me up? Is it because you haven't done your homework?" And oftentimes, that would be the case. When students wouldn't do their homework, they would come to me and they would try to butter me up by saying nice things so that they can then say that they hadn't done their homework. Now, some people also try to butter up their boss because they want to get a promotion or a raise. That is a pay raise in their salary. Idiom number 9 is to put all of your eggs in one basket. This means that you're taking a big risk by putting all your money or all your resources or all your efforts in one place. Just imagine that I had 10 eggs and I put all of those eggs in a basket like that. And imagine I dropped that basket. What would happen? Well, all of my eggs would fall and they would break and I would lose all my eggs. That is the idea behind this idiom. I remember one time I was having dinner with a group of friends, and suddenly one of my friends said, "Hey everyone, I'm going to start a new business." We all said, "Congratulations, that's fantastic news." And then he said, "But I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to take my life savings and I'm going to put that into this business." Immediately, one of my other friends said, "Hey, be careful with that because it's not a good idea to put all your eggs in one basket." What that meant was, this is a big risk. You're putting everything in one place, so be careful. All right, and our final idiom is to have a finger in every pie. Now, if you don't know what a pie is, it looks kind of like this. This is a hot, steaming pie. And it's usually sweet or savory. I love apple pie. It's one of my favorite foods. To have a finger in every pie means to be involved in a lot of things. Now, it can be used positively. Like you can say, I'm the manager in my company and I don't have a lot of people working for me, so I have to have a finger in every pie, meaning I have to do a lot of things. But it can also be used negatively. Like if I said, that manager wants to have his finger in every pie. That means I'm saying he wants to control everything. I'm saying it in a negative way. This idiom has a related idiom, like a cousin, and that idiom is to have your finger in too many pies. If you have your finger in too many pies, then you are very busy and you're not able to focus on what you have to do. If I said, I have my finger in too many pies, that means I'm really busy and I have so many things to do that I'm not able to concentrate. All right, let's recap the idioms we've learned today. A piece of cake is something that's really easy. A person who is a couch potato is really lazy and is not active at all. If something is not your cup of tea, then you don't enjoy it or you don't like it. If you are in a pickle, then you are in a very bad situation or you're in some serious trouble. When we take something with a pinch of salt, we don't fully believe what we're hearing or what we're seeing. If someone saw a cheesy film, then they saw a low quality film. And if someone has a cheesy smile, remember that you have to be careful with that person because their smile is not real. Your bread and butter is your main source of income, like your job. If you try to butter someone up, then you're trying to flatter that person. You're saying nice things to them or you're being friendly with them because you want something from them. Remember not to put all of your eggs in one basket because then you're taking a big risk and you might lose everything. And if you have a finger in every pie, you are doing a lot of things, or in a negative sense, you're trying to do too many things. You're trying to be involved in everything. Also remember that if you have your finger in too many pies, then you're too busy. All right, I hope you had fun learning all of these idioms. Remember to subscribe to this channel. There are lots of new lessons coming, and I will see you in another lesson soon.